I'm the one you call when you need a tin up or down. I'm a tent rental man, I'm working all day, getting those stakes in the ground no matter what they say. From sunrise to the night, I make sure everything's right. Yeah, I'm a tent rental man, I'm working all day.
You ready for this? Are you ready?
I'm
Here's
ready.
the
Don't mess
intro.
it up.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Under the Vinyl, a rental management media podcast. Kyle, was that good enough for you?
Yes, thank God you're getting it right. I'm so sick of you messing it up every week.
I mean, I think we're on it.
Lauren sends me text messages saying, "Can you please get Nate in line?"
Kyle, I'm basically your virtual assistant, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Without me, you'd be lost.
Assistant, therapist, friend. What else?
Emotional support.
Yeah. What else you want to add to the list?
Nothing else really. I'm tired of you. But anyways, got a good guest lined up today. Somebody that I've known for quite some time. Consider a good friend in the industry. Has made quite some acquisitions lately on some different companies and things. So we'll get into that as well. But yeah, we got Ian Goff from Goff Tents. Ian, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Can't
but I would
complain,
love to.
man.
I didn't know if I'd intro you as Goff Tents, if I intro you as, the other companies. What you got a little bit of everything going on these days.
I'm just that guy. I had to do something different so everybody would quit referring to me as the king of the baby ox. So I needed to do something.
King of the baby ox. I like it.
I haven't heard that, but that's pretty damn good, actually.
I have 7 of them now.
So you make up about what Kyle's gotten big ones in.
Yeah.
Hey, and I know if I have to sell my 225, I'm calling Ian Goff right away.
Let's go.
I'll
Hey,
have it on
I
the
have-
truck before I even call him.
Well, I've had actually like that. You've been my business model when I've talked about the 2 Series or whatever, and just on how it goes up and down lift gate or the different variations on how you can use it and everything else. And we can jump into that a little bit. But Ian, first, tell us how the hell you got here. I know you got a good story like everybody else. It's got stuck in this industry, right?
Yeah. So my dad was a professional musician and somewhere along the line realized that he wasn't going to be a rock star. My mom was a school teacher, so they had to figure out what they could do. So they bought a party rental company, right? Makes perfect sense. So that was in 1985. And a lot of it was party goods, costumes, paper goods, like the things that were really going on in the 80s. Had a few tables, chairs, and tents. And we were off and running. So I grew up in the back of a rental store like a lot of guys. A pile of dirty linens was my babysitter. And when I was big enough to stand on a milk crate, I ran the dishwasher. So I've kind of always been in it. Left for a little while after school, thought I was going to be a mechanic. I thought that was a really good life path. And Dad called me one day, and the guy who was managing the store was leaving to go somewhere else. He's like, somebody wants to do this? I was like, well, yeah, I'll do it. And so January 1st, 2004, I walked in the door, and he hasn't fired me in a way that I've left yet. So I'm still
But
there.
you have been fired.
Multiple times.
Oh, me too. It's all right. Yeah. I just want to make sure that's common.
If you're not getting fired by your dad, you're not doing it right.
Right. That's good life
Because they
advice
always
right
know
there.
you guys are going to make your way back, right? It's like lost puppies, man.
I mean, if you got to go home with them at that point, you got to go back the next day. So.
I understand that. And Bob, what is Bob's current role? I know he still was coming in and out of the office. Is he still in and out there?
He walked out the door to go on vacation in 2019 and never walked back in to the office. But he loves it. I mean, he's always on our dispatch and he's in the sales meetings. He does our site surveys. If it's near a golf course or a good restaurant, he's there, right? Actively involved when we do the acquisitions. He loves to come out to go see the space, to go talk to the people. I mean, he is rental. It's in his blood. He's been doing it for over 40 years. And, you get that smell of vinyl in your nose. It just never goes away.
See,
fresh vinyl.
We hear
It's the
these
best
stories
smell in the world.
constantly. Yeah, we hear these stories constantly. And it's like, I think to myself, is that going to be me? I don't know. And I want to, like, the older I get, I'm like, I want to retire at some point, but also I don't think I can. I think I would lose my mind because of how much we're under stress and under pressure. And every once in a while we like it some time away, but do we ever fully shut off?
No, I think we thrive on it.
It's sickening. It's like a drug, man. It's like a shot of heroin, and it's vinyl in the vinyl form. You
If
know?
you're not around it, you make a problem. So I've got my oldest son is 15, and you permit at 15. So part of that is he drives me one day a week just from the store. It's not just so he gets his hours logged in. So we were up in Northern Kentucky, and I was like, "Hey, get off at this exit." He's like, "What are you doing?" There's a baseball stadium over there. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "They got a tent over there. I want to go look at it." And he goes, "You made us drive like 10 minutes out of the way to go look at a tent." And it was a 10 by 20, by the way. But I
Yep.
just wanted to see who had the tent there. I had to know.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, I get it. I mean, we do the same thing, and I talk with Mike about it when he does it on vacation too. But I think the last time we were in Denver, we were walking through, and my wife's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I got to see this tent. I just want to know who's put it up or who makes it. I just want to know." This episode of Under the Vinyl is brought to you by Anchor Tents and Clearspans, manufactured in the USA and built for the rental industry. Looking to save time and labor on installs? Meet the VXN, pronounced Vixen. From Anchor Industries, the smallest clearspan profile with 5-meter bays instead of the standard 3-meter bays used by competitors and 4-meter uprights. The VXN installs faster and fewer components, helping crews save valuable time and money on every job. Backed by Anchor's trusted quality in engineering and craftsmanship, the VXN delivers the durability, long-term performance rental companies depend on season after season. Anchor Tents and Clearspans, helping rental companies work smarter and grow stronger. Call 1-800-544-4445 to connect with your sales rep or visit anchorinc.com. Ian and I go way back, back to my Brian's days when I started back there. 2010. And Ian and I became friends because at that time, I feel like the Lexington rental companies weren't really talking a lot. And at that point, I finally said, "Hey, what's going on with this Goff character down the street?" And Terry's like, "Well, we rented some back and forth. We really don't associate much." And so me and Ian created a relationship, and from then on out, we've kind of been friends. I'd say for the latter part of that time, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. I think that the first real meeting was at an ARA meeting by the bar.
Yeah, ARA
Honestly,
meeting by
Ian,
the
I think
bar.
that's where you and I met too. Was at an ARA meeting by the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we became a singing group, and
Yeah, we did. We sang karaoke together.
we did.
Oh yeah. Well,
Made a lot of people
and
happy. That
Ian's been much more than just a work friend of me. When I went through my divorce, he was there for me, and it went a long way as well. And so we've had many late nights outside of work together in Lexington bars, either watching Ian play music, because fun fact, Ian is a sideshow rock star after work, or just hanging out in general. But Ian, tell me a little bit about currently. I know you got Goff Tents is the main brand, right? Makes up the main brand. Goff Tents has always been just tents, not really all tables and chairs and things like that. And then, or has it kind of evolved?
Tents, tables, chairs was
Mm-hmm.
always at the core. When Dad started it, it was fairs, festivals, large corporate events, things in 80 wides and 60 wides and thousands of chairs, stage, things like that. Not so much of the pretty stuff, the dance floor, the linens. That came later on when I got there. He started a company in 2004 called Encore Events, and that was going to be the offshoot of it was Southeast Tents then. And the plan was that Encore was going to do the weddings and these high-end corporate events and have the dance floors and chivaris and all that stuff. And so that's where that started, and that took off and was going great. And then 2008 hit, and of course all that corporate money just went out the door. So we were talking like what we're going to do. And I said, we have these tents, we have the tables, the chairs, the china, we have all the stuff. Why don't we just rebrand over on this side and really just focus on becoming a player in that market, which really wasn't what we were doing. That's what Bryant's was doing. That's what Purdon's was doing. I mean, we had our own piece over here to the side, but we kind of moved into that lane around 2008 and really started that name change. It was from Southeast Tents to Goff Southeast Tents. And by 2010, we kind of dropped the Southeast and gone full on just with the Goff Tents and Events.
Because you guys were traveling primarily, doing big pole tents and things like that of that nature at that point.
Pole tents did structure. I mean, we were doing structure after the Atlanta Olympics. Dad worked out a deal with Rotor. And so he was traveling basically if it was 25 meter or below, he was doing that around because they didn't even want to deal with anything like that. And then just through storms and things, a lot of it got taken out and destroyed, and there wasn't that structure here, so he was getting paid full price for what he had paid 10 cents on the dollar for when he bought it after the Olympics. And instead of investing back into structure, which would have been great, he spent on winning commercial real estate. So
Okay, that makes sense. And then you
hindsight, we
guys,
wish we'd have stayed in the structure, but
well, yeah, no, I mean, you guys have made a good niche. We were just talking about that the other day. Is just the niche, like your business, finding your niche and staying in that and finding it. Yeah, you can grow it and everything else, but probably took it back to you getting involved to get back to the structure because you guys are in structure now, right? And so,
Sure.
I mean, staying in your lane and what you guys did for so long was so successful, to get you back today to now back into the structure game. And you guys also did and still do manufacturing, correct?
correct. So
And so are you guys manufacturing for others or are you guys just manufacturing for yourselves?
we do it's primarily for ourselves. I mean, it's being able to feed the beast to keep it going.
Mhm.
We do a lot of repair work for other people. We do a lot of work on pool covers, custom patio enclosures. So as far as the making of the tents, that's probably the smallest piece of what we do in the manufacturing department.
Okay.
But it's great. Just customer calls like, "Hey, we want X, Y, Z." Yeah, no problem. We can make that.
How many staff members do you have on the manufacturing side?
We just run 3 full time, but then in the winter, when we're really doing stuff for us, we got a lot of tent guys in there, so we can flex that up to whatever we need for the
Nice.
project. And if there's a demand, we need something for a big build or, the track job needed a bunch of sidewalls, things like that. We can have guys come in and help do that. So it's nice. There's about 4 or 5 other guys on our install crew who have worked in manufacturing. So having that experience helps.
Yep.
Manufacturing is hard to find, especially if you're trying to find a good sewer and things like that. It seems like it's a non-existent person these days compared to how it used to be, right?
Yeah. It's, old tent guys are the best sewers. They've just been doing, they had to fix so many repairs out on site and things.
Yep.
I mean, Junior, who's been with us since the 80s, I mean, he could barely walk around and do anything, but he could sit at that sewing machine and sew all day. So
Well, it's also, and it's okay, it could sound bad in this way, but it's not like you're putting them to pasture, but you take guys that want to get off the road and looking for something that's more in house that maybe
Yeah.
can't do office or don't want to do office, but they want to be something more inside the building as they get older. I mean, it's a good alternative to be able to actually give,
it's a great solution for old tent guys. I mean, the
Yeah.
body only goes so many miles and it's so
Mhm.
much further now with the 10 ox. And, I mean, you could go out and drive 1,000 stakes by yourself and maybe get a blister on your thumb. I mean, the
Yeah.
days of swinging whackers or sledgehammers, it's not part of the game anymore.
No.
So what are your typical crews that you're running right now? How many guys are you running on a crew? And then you're typically sending an ox with every job, or how are you guys running?
Yeah, we're pretty much in an ox. So we run out of the Goff location, we're probably running 8 to 9 crews a day. Those will run 2 to 6. It just depends on the scale of it. Guys who are just running dish, table chair, things like that, that might be less. They might be flexed up with a larger tent crew. So that varies. The tri-state location, we're generally running 3 a day. Same thing, 2 to 4 up there. So just
So
by the day.
okay, and so now that you said it, let's talk a little bit about some of the acquisitions now that you've made. You've grown Goff Tents so much, and you've slowly, I feel like every time I turn the corner, you've acquired something different.
Yeah.
Whether it be baseball, linens, or in the tent world. But tell us a little bit, one, how those have come about and what is your decision to make those acquisitions. I think some people look at them in different ways, with how the acquiring of the proximity area. Maybe it's not so far away, so you're still in your same area, but you're acquiring these businesses. But I think there's obviously an upside to it. So what was your decision in acquiring these businesses, and tell us a little bit about what the businesses were?
Yeah. So I've never sought out any of the acquisitions. It's always been an owner that's come to me. So it started with the Purdon family. They were another company in town where we were doing the tent, table, chairs, all that stuff. I mean, they had the in-house linen, and we were subbing everything. Or if we owned it, they were actually processing for me. And then the dish, we weren't in that space, so we were basically subbing it through them. And during COVID, I went over there one day, took a load of linens, and Paul and Sam were in there, and he's like, "Hey, we think we want to get out. Are you interested in buying the business?" And we worked through the numbers and were able to make a deal, and that worked out great because they seller financed it to me.
Oh, wow.
And
That's awesome.
so, yeah, I mean, they were great to work with. We stayed in that location and worked that brand for 5 years, and I think it just wasn't going to work to stay in that space. That side of town wasn't going in the direction that it was going to be what we needed. And so we knew some consolidation was going to happen. So we just consolidated that into the Goff building at the beginning of this year. So,
Okay.
so that was in 2020. So we started operating that ourselves in August of 20.
So you bought that during COVID.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that.
You were on the right side of COVID in August.
Yeah.
We had a good idea of what was going to happen, I think.
Not in Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't.
Kentucky was one of the toughest ones.
It was tough.
Yeah, that's when I quit and I moved to Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember driving 45 minutes away to bid a $300 job that we didn't get and getting $80,000 in cancellations. I mean, it was tough times. So
yeah.
But Goff being a tent heavy company, as those things started happening, we were getting a lot of that business. And then, the Purdens weren't doing that. And I think Sam and Katie, who were the third generation, that just wasn't where their heart was. They wanted to go do other things. And, that it was a good deal for us to be able to come in and then have the in-house linen processing, to have the dish, to have all that. And there was some human capital involved that helped us transition and learn about that stuff. So that was really key for us.
And Goff's probably really supported then that acquisition through the COVID to be able to get you. I mean,
Sure.
great purchase at the right time, but it was able to support everything to get you to where you're going to be making more money and where you're very successful now with it, right?
Right. And that's always been the key, is acquiring a piece that supports what we do just differently. So where Goff is, at that time, or end user, fair, festival, corporate, big tent, things like that. Purdens were venue, planner, caterer, so it was a different customer base. So, when they were making those calls around town, they're probably making 3 phone calls. We're getting 2 of them, hoping we were converting on that. So that was always our mindset when we went that direction.
Which makes sense. So then what was the idea behind adding the linen company? Because then you purchased a linen company, right? Mr. Linen?
Right. So that Mr. Linen it's more industrial laundry.
Okay.
So we're doing healthcare facilities, we're doing hotels, we're doing a lot of restaurants. So the napkins and linens that you see at restaurants, but we do a lot of country clubs and venues and things like that as well. So that, our mindset was we were going to take special event linen processing to the industrial side, which I think is worked out really well. But the owner, Richie Miracle, again, just a great guy. He had previously done some linen processing for us. We started working together. There was a company that had a fire, so there was a lot of work available. We were doing a lot of it. He was doing a lot of it. We were working together on that. And he just came to me and said, my wife's getting close to retiring. I'm tired of running around with my pants on fire. If you're interested, and we did. And so we took that on, and he was running, I think, 1 big iron and 1 little small one. I think we have 7 irons in there, 9 washers. We run about 45 people a day, 7 days a week on there. So 2 shifts.
Now, are you picking up additional work now because you're in the hotels now doing their laundry?
That's what my question was,
venues,
Right.
restaurants, things like that?
Just one hand is feeding the other because we're there, rep arena. Yeah, I had a meeting with the director of operations the other day, and he's like, can we consolidate the billing, because it looks like we're doing this linen with you, but then we got your same guys in here and you're doing pipe and drape and tables and chairs and all this. It's just giving us, in the different markets that we're going to, in the different venues, that opportunity to touch different people along the way. Because you guys know, when you're dealing with these large corporations, there can be 2 or 3 different buyers. So the opportunity to get in front of them has created a competitive advantage for us.
Yep.
Right. That makes sense. And then from there, well, we got one that's way out there, and we'll get out there on that one. But then you guys just recently acquired Tri-State. Excuse me,
Tri-State.
Tri-State
So,
Tents.
yeah. So same thing. Last October, November, Roger was at our shop, and he was needing to either get some parts or get something repaired. And, he grew like a rocket ship, he started his business during COVID, like the tail end of 19 going in. So, I mean, talk about a from nothing and survive to, really building something. And he just looked, he said, when are you going to buy me out? Like, I'm exhausted. And then we started talking, and he's one of those guys, he loves this business.
Yep.
It's just a lot at a certain place, the debt you have to take on, the hours versus the payoff, and he's got a young family. It was just a lot. So we started talking about it, and he really wanted to still be in the industry and still be involved, just not be the owner. So he sold us. That started May 1st of this year, but he stays on. The whole team stayed on. I mean, they got a great crew. It's just going to be able to expand offerings where they were doing a lot of sporting events, tailgate, stuff like that. Now we're going to be able to take to them the clear tents, the sailcloth, the Chivaris, the King Louis, the dish, the linen, all those things up into a market that has much more potential, frankly, than, what we have in Lexington.
Right. And I've kind of did a little bit of background, just, I've known him for years, not personally, but just when I was in Lexington, things like that. But, just for everybody listening, he wasn't doing, it's not like he was just doing a couple backyard tents here and there. Like he was doing smaller tents, but on a large scale. Right. So
Right.
he was producing pretty well. It wasn't something like, hey, we're just going to buy this guy that's a smaller guy. He was smaller, but he was in some bigger stuff with the right people with smaller tents.
Right.
He was
And
doing
it goes up to, I mean, he was 40 by 120, in Natton, things like that. So, I mean, he's not doing 60 wides or any of that, but I mean, they're running the mix of the Navy, pole tents, which Kyle, I'm with you all the way on the pole tents, man. If I
Thank
could do
God someone
one
agrees.
thing every day of my life, it would be
boy.
go out and set up 40 wide pole tents.
Hey, you,
greatest
me
thing
at
in the world.
225, Ian, we won't even break a sweat.
No, might crack a 12 pack, but no sweat.
Hey,
The problem
no
is
problem there.
nobody can. It's like a scientific operation to send somebody out to set up a pole tent anymore, right? Like you almost have to go out and square out all the pole tents before the guys go out and set them up, because let's be honest, they can't even tie a damn knot if they had to tie a knot, right?
I mean, how many guys do you all have on staff that can go out and freehand, basically without squaring and without using a ratchet, and throw up a 40 wide pole tent?
Maybe
there's
two.
I was going to say there's probably 3 or 4.
There's not a lot of us left that could go out there and just, old school, but do it, and it's tight and it looks good. I mean, I used to do, traveling 60 wides with me, another one of my buddies, and an older guy that drove us around, because I don't think either of us were old enough to drive, and it was nothing but 60 by 90 pole tents that would go up. We'd have 3 on a trailer. You'd set one, and then you'd pick up 3 on the way back. I mean, we had a whacker, and that was it.
When I was at Bryant's at one point in time, we had a 60 wide, I think it was 60 by 120 twin pole up, and we were running. It was one of those summers, running ragged, didn't have the people. I grabbed the 10 ox and went by myself, and I had that thing dropped and unlaced when the guys got there, and all they had to do was roll it up now. And that's not just to brag on myself, but it's like now, if you told somebody to go do that, they would lose their freaking minds. There ain't no way in hell you're asking a guy to go take down a tent like that by yourself with a 10 ox. They would look at you like you had 3 heads.
We were running low on crew last Friday, and I took the one guy who's been with us 30 years. Me, him, a 225. We went and did 3 40 by 60 pole tents, and I looked at him, I was like, you're the only one who would do this with me and not complain all day. And he's like, oh, I know, that's why you took me with you.
It's a great day.
Yeah, it's a simple day. We were laughing. We had a good time. We didn't really work that hard.
I think
I mean, it's fun.
when I was 18, I think I took my 14-year-old brother, and we went and tore down a 60 by 90 by ourselves. No machines, no nothing. It was just,
Yeah. It's what we did. That's why we got back problems now, right? We're all hurting. We're all walking weird. We're all going to the chiropractor. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Earned.
Well, so you made quite the acquisitions, and what have you learned through all of these acquisitions, or what has it taught you? Because I mean, we all talk about how crazy we are and how limited amount of time we have, and the things that we're doing, and how our hair is constantly on fire and we're running around. But why is it that you wanted to step into this and buy these companies? I know one hand feeds another, but to me, it sounds like more stress. I understand the long game, but like, what was your idea behind it? And then what have you learned through it all?
Yeah, I don't know that there was ever, as it started, just a grand idea behind it. I mean, we needed to grow. We
Hmm.
needed to grow to be able to maintain the staff that we needed to hit the goal. Yeah, I've got aggressive goals for where I want the company to be at certain points in my life, and it wasn't going to happen just running a single operation in a fourth tier market. We
Hmm.
were going to need to hire people. We were going to need to buy inventory, get into different products, bigger space, things like that, and we needed to make a change. And we did the first one, and it was just kind of a dumb luck situation, and then we saw what it added and what we were able to do. And then I was sitting at home and I had 15 minutes to myself, so we thought we'd do it again.
That
And again,
that's what happens. You get bored, and there you go.
Well, it's a challenge too. I mean, I physically can't go out and sling it like I used to every day. I would be dead. I'm really good for one day, but the second day, you got to hide a little bit because it hurts a little more than it used to. Um, but I have been doing this most of my life, and I've learned a lot from getting to be around a lot of great people. I'm lucky that Terry Bryant and people like that have taught me a lot, and there's been a lot of mentors in this industry, and in being able to take those processes that we've learned and implement those in different stores. And then also, you see a store with a great culture or something that you love. Every time you go to a new operation, it's a clean slate. You can
hmm
start over and inject that. And then as it's in different parts of the business, you watch it bleed back and seep into all aspects of it. So it's been good across the board for everything that we've done.
that was kind of rolling into my next question too, is have they had to adopt the Goff way, or have you kind of, I mean, that's a lot of different personalities, right? You
Yeah,
got all these
that
different businesses, right? And then if you're keeping any kind of owners on as like either a consultant or they're running the business for you, or that side of the business for you while you can't be everywhere at one time and they're all over the place. How have they adapted your systems, or have you kind of found a way to merge all of them together in a way? And I know like the linen's obviously a little bit different because it's not necessarily a party business, but at the same time it rolls into party. And just how have you adapted that stuff?
It's gone both ways, right? I
Hmm.
mean, obviously we have a mentality when we go in. My first thing when I went to Mr. Lennon is like, this is going to be a huge party rental business. We're going to have all this inventory, all this space. We're going to do this. And then as I got in there and I learned about the business and I learned about the client mix, I saw that yes, we can do some of that, but there's this whole other piece over here on the industrial side that we can learn about, grow, and then it's come
Hmm.
back and benefited Goff. Right.
Yeah.
And the same thing going up, Tri-State was the first time that we were able to keep an owner on that wanted to run and do that. And yeah, I mean, there's certain things that we want to do up there and things that we're doing, but Roger started a company from scratch and it was successful and had a strong bottom line.
Hmm.
So I definitely want to listen to the things that he's done well and learn from that. So I learn something new every day.
How do you
And if
think
you're not,
Roger likes the transition?
Some days
Because
he likes me and some days he doesn't.
that's how you hear this from like the olders who sell to private
yeah.
equity. You know,
Right.
it's fun for about 3 days, they say, and then it's when they get
Well, I think I feel like it's going really well. He came in, we just did the big track job, and he project managed that whole thing. And I can tell you, we wouldn't have got that done if it wasn't for him leading the charge there. And I'm not sure he would have gotten it done without us bringing in the team that we did and the way that we all worked together on that first project. Like, I think everybody really quickly respected each other because it's like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy's got great relationships, and oh crap, like these guys really know how to sling some vinyl here. Like the marriage is going well. And as I go up and one of the first things I did was go up and just get on a truck with his guys. Like, let's just get in, let's go. You know, it's one kid's first day that he'd ever been out there was with me and another kid. And we did, 3 or 4 jobs, and the team up there, it's good. So I think it's really positive, and they're nice tall guys, so they can hang sidewalls, which we really appreciate because shoulders hurt.
Hey, I do know one thing. He ain't lying about that track job, because I did that track job before he did that track job, and I actually sub-rented all the frame tents from Chattanooga when I worked at Bryant's, and there was, I believe, we were so burned out and wore out because we had so many other jobs, and we took that on as well, because there was, how many tents did you have out there? Over 100 and something?
137.
Yeah. So we did that same thing, maybe a little bit less. And it was, I remember calling you actually on like a Saturday or Sunday, and I was like, do you have any extra labor? Because I am about to fall on the floor and die out here. And it's tough. So for him to come in there and run that job, and for you guys to merge like that, that's definitely saying something about him as an owner as well.
Right. And we felt great about the situation because you know how big that job is. During the 2-week span that happens from the start of the build to the breakdown.
Yeah.
That was only 25% of the revenue of what we did. So we had a lot of other stuff going on at the same time. And the fact that it went so smoothly across there was just a credit to how awesome the team is that I have around me. Like I'm a very small part of it. I get to sit up and be the coach, but I mean, our install crews are phenomenal. The leadership that we have, Kevin, at Goff, and our sales team, and Roger and Terrence at the linen store. I mean, just awesome people who make it happen every day.
Well, and Ian is still one of those owners, and I'm not trying to blow his head up here, but he's still one of those owners that does go out on a truck. I've talked to him many mornings where he's like, yeah, been at it since 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. delivering linens to Louisville, or, I had to drive down to Hazard and deliver something for the 10, or, whatever that looks like. So you're still heavily involved in all of that stuff.
Listen, if all I got to do was go out and be on a truck,
yeah,
I'm telling you, it's the greatest job in the world.
Yeah, I'm envious of my guys who get to do that every day.
You get to go out, and it's a hard job. We're not lying to anybody, but I mean, going out to someone's backyard or a venue or just some of the cool places. I mean, they see the pictures that you're posting, and Kyle, I mean, y'all are seeing amazing places, but I don't care if it's someone's backyard. You get to jump in a big truck first off, and you get to drive a big truck around, and then you get to play on equipment. And then you get to take a pile of something and you get to build it, right? And when you drive away and you look in the rearview mirror, like there's something there that you built. And that is what still gets me going.
Yep. It's a feeling you can't describe. Like people who don't love it don't understand it.
No, but also it'd be nice if it was back like when you were originally starting in the business, where you could just go out on a truck, set up a tent, leave your shit there, and go home. But now instead you're going out, setting up a tent. Hey, it's fun and games. And then you get home and you're like, shit, I got to actually pertain to my email and everything else now.
Yeah, there was no email.
Exactly.
I'll mail you the quote.
Which brings me to my next point. You got 4 kids, right? Where are you finding the work-life balance for all these acquisitions and things, and time for all this with the 4 kids? And how do you integrate your business with your family?
We make it work, and family's a priority. Because I can say that, I have been coaching my 13-year-old son Miles' baseball team for the last 5 years. Owen, my oldest, is out there with me. I go and we drive up there, and I go in the office, start working, and he's out in the warehouse cleaning chairs. My daughters, my wife and I both coach their basketball team. They play soccer. We go to the games. I try my best to not miss anything and to be as actively involved as I can. And sometimes it's, I'm fortunate that I'm a morning person, so I can get up and get started early and get ahead of the day before they get up and get going. And sometimes it's once they go to bed, it's figuring it out at night. And I got an amazing wife that is in the business in every facet. She's been a truck driver. She's been a tent installer. She's run each one of the stores. Like, she jumps in there and gives me a lot of slack too. So the fact
And
that
you
I have
must
4 kids and they're all alive and my wife hasn't left me, I think I'm winning.
Hey, and she had a
That's
pretty
one
damn
metric
good
to use. I like it.
she had a pretty damn good job before running a business too. And so for her to come over there and do what she did and be a main character over there for you is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
All right, so you said baseball. You got into this weird partnership that came out of nowhere too with the Lexington Legends, right? The baseball
Right.
team. So tell us about that. Where the hell did that come from?
Bourbons and cigar.
That's how it always starts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you remember when the Legends were really first came to Lexington, they were rocking that ballpark. The amount of work that we did there, I mean, it was a substantial account. And I know Bryant's was doing a lot there. We were doing a lot at Burdens. I mean, there was just a lot of business there. So we've always been interested in partnering and working with them and doing stuff. And it was right around Christmas time, and we were over at my mom's house, and my brother-in-law was there, and you're on the back porch having a bourbon, smoked a cigar, and another mutual friend, his father was one of the original owners, and he's like, hey, they're trying to get the ownership group back together to buy the team back and bring it back local and all this. And he's like, I don't think I want to do it. This isn't my market. And I was like, I want to do it. I want to do it. I was like, give me the guy's number. He didn't give it to me fast enough. So Alan Stein, who was the original principal owner, I got his phone number. I said, hey, Mr. Stein, my name's Ian Goff. I know you don't know me, but I know you're buying the team back and I want in. Where do I send a check? He
That
was
was
like,
pretty
okay.
easy.
So I sent him a check. 2 weeks later, he called me back. He said, Ian, just got a notification in the mail. We lost your check. I was like, we better find it because I can't write another one. So,
And so
that's
how
how
is
I
that?
became in professional
How's
baseball.
that? Well, and that has, I mean, that has another key aspect to the rest of it, right? They events and things, and that makes sense too. And what is that? How has that been? I mean, I see pictures all the time with your family out at the ballpark and things like that. It looks like it's just fun for the family as well. You're more involved with it, but how much do you have to be involved on that side of that?
As far as in the baseball side, I'm involved zero. We've
Okay.
got a great general manager, which I mean, he's become a really good friend. So we text all the time.
Hmm.
He'll ask me ideas about something, and I'll say do this, or there's a lot of events that go on out there. So we've been able to partner on a substantial amount of projects, which was one of the main reasons that I really
Right.
wanted to be involved, because when you're one of the owners of the team, you're going to get all the rental work. So we definitely help recover those costs in doing that. But no, I mean, our kids have been bat boys for the team. It's a place where we can all go out and go as a family. We're going tonight. We've got some other family coming into town. We're all going to go hang out.
Yeah.
Um, people come into town, or we have friends and say, hey, you want tickets to the game? The state baseball tournament was there last week, and people that I know whose families were in the tournament, they're like, can you help us out? I'm like, yeah, make it happen and just come out and enjoy it. And it's a great networking tool. And
Hmm.
it's a great way to, show appreciation to customers and vendors that we work with. So
I like that. It makes sense.
That's a good
It
point.
all makes sense. It all makes sense. All these acquisitions make sense on why they roll together. I get it. But now, with that said, ARA put out something, and Kyle and I talked about this on the prior podcast, of growing by 8% this year, right? In this market currently right now, what are you seeing with these trends, and do you feel like that 8% is achievable? And in acquiring all these businesses, does that feel like it's doable?
I think it's different in different markets. So I can tell you in the Goff in the central Kentucky, yes, that or more. I mean, we're aggressively growing in that, and it's just, maybe it's opportunity, maybe it's market share. I don't, put my thumb on it, but that number is definitely. Now up in Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati market, I feel like it's a little bit softer, and I don't know if that's where there is larger corporations up there they're being more cautious. They've been hit a little bit
Mhm.
harder. So it's a new market, and we're really just trying to figure out and learn. But I think overall we'll do that or better.
That's pretty good then. Yeah, we were going back and forth with that a lot, and I feel like it's market by market. I get that, and
Yeah.
it just felt like an egregious number based on what everybody's seeing booking wise. I feel like a lot of people are talking to other people, and it's like the fall is kind of it's coming in, but it's trickling in, and it's not like it used to be where everything was ahead. And so I think people can hit that number, but it's not something that you can see a clear path to right now.
Uh, I'm ridiculous too. I mean,
Mhm.
our standard growth goal in our sales meeting is 10%, stretch is 15. And I
Right.
mean, and we're pushing for that every month. You know, we're looking at
Mhm.
it by the month, by the quarter, you know, half year and the whole year. So we make big, stupid goals because if we come up short, it's still going to be a record year.
Right.
So, you know, and we got a great sales team that they like a challenge and they like that when we grow, it adds new items, you know, which help give them more things to sell. So
So, Ian, as we wrap up here, what is some advice you could give to the younger generation, second generation, or just someone new to the industry?
go work at Walmart. No, I mean, this is the greatest industry in the world. I mean, you get to be outside, you get to build stuff, you get to be with the guys and hang out. Stay the course and be able to see it through because this industry is growing tremendously. I think the awareness that you guys raised by doing this, I think what you know the associations are doing, giving credibility, being able to do this, the certified safe tinning, safe installer. I mean, getting some real credentials, and the fact that you know, Nate, we've had employees that have worked for each other's company. But if I called you and said, "Hey, look, I got a guy that's moving down to Chattanooga. You know, he's got his certification. Here's his hours. Da 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 da." You're going to want that guy. I mean,
Oh,
you're going to
absolutely.
trust that when somebody calls and says that, you know, because sometimes some of the employees we get from each other, you're just taking somebody else's bad habits
And we've done that before, haven't we?
once or twice.
Once or
Well, that
twice.
just happened with me with, Crotto. He sent me an employee, I think, a couple of years ago, and he came work for me up in Nashville and vouched for the guy, and he was fantastic. And he just recently had another kid, and they want to move back closer to family and got custody of his other kid, and they moved. Crotto took him back, and so it's things like that, those relationships and friendships that you can build to be able to trust somebody to say, hey, this guy's worth a damn.
But I think that's important too, that that guy can move
Mm-hmm.
from Florida to Tennessee and back and still be able to stay in the industry. It's great that you and Jeff know each other, but if he carries that credential with him, an electrician can do it, a plumber can do it, you know, why can't a tent installer do it?
Yeah.
And it's going to bring that credibility for this younger generation. And that's what we'll say up at Tri-State, they've got a younger crew and a lot of them are guys that are graduating college. And that tool's just not there yet, but I can go to them and say, listen, like you can make a real living here with the 401k, with health
Yep.
insurance, with when you have a family, if you decide you want to move, da 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 da, I mean, you're going to be able to transfer this within this industry. And I think that is going to help retention so much. And, you know, we're lucky. We're in the H-2B visa program that we're keeping those guys in there and we've got a great core. But I know there's so many smaller companies that are just starting up that it's such a struggle to be able to keep those people throughout the wintertime.
And the problem is it's never going to get easier.
No.
No, it's not, and it's always going to be trying to find somebody different. And I just hired two college graduates, and going through the process of teaching them is going to be tough just because a couple don't have maybe necessarily all the knowledge, but my thing is, like, you don't have to have the knowledge of the industry, right? You just have to have the willpower and the drive to want to do it. And so as long as you're showing them the pathway, and we preach this, I can't even tell you how many times, the pathway of how to be successful, and showing them how you got here and showing them what that can look like, that you can provide for your family within this realm. If you want to, you just got to have the drive to do it. And yeah, now that you can have the credentials to do it as well, shout out August 18th, 19th, Nashville CTC. We'll see you there. But just going ahead and getting those next steps to be the master tenor and giving that knowledge, it's just, I think, is going to be fantastic.
I agree.
All right, Ian. Well, we appreciate you coming on today. We've been wanting to do this for a little while, and we've talked about it, and I felt no time better than now, especially with all these different acquisitions
Well-
from not only yourself, but then other things going on in the industry. So this is great insight.
Also, Nate, we're working our way through the flirty group.
Yeah, we really are, actually.
There's one flirty we will not have on. I'm sure he knows who he is, but
He might live in Florida,
yeah,
Schmrenden, something like that.
yeah, Halgren.
So we'll keep that rolling. That's the
Strong group of guys. Really lucky to be affiliated with those guys. I mean, just the conversations that we have on a daily basis. I mean, you can't go on YouTube and figure out how to navigate this business
No.
and to have hundreds of years of experience.
Actually, I think you can now. I think there's someone out there who you can buy a course. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Well, good luck to that. But
Yeah.
well, Ian, until next time, hopefully we'll see you in Nashville in August, and we'll have a beer together and continue to tell stories. So have a good rest of the season. We'll catch up with you later.
You guys as well. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.